Scream 6. They're in Manhattan now. Ghostface takes Manhattan, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, most of the same cast is back except Neve Campbell, unfortunately. Hayden Panettiere came back. Samara Weaving, Dermot Mulroney, Tony Revolori, and more joined the cast. And me and Alan saw it in the theater, and we had a lot of fun. I think it both tries to like subvert expectations, but also plays into the tropes that are like ridiculously overused, but it kind of works because it makes you laugh. And I think even though we don't see much of the old cast, I think the new cast is able to carry it so well. And I'm scared that Ryan's gonna crap on this movie.
I'm not gonna crap on it. I just have my problems. But I'll let you guys get in there first, and then I'll jump in. What did you like about it? What did you like about it?
I will start with the fact that all those small issues I had with Melissa Barrera in the last one, because of the whole haunting situation, they are gone here. She is so good as the final girl in this movie. You know, like as actually the main character. Neve Campbell is nowhere to be seen in this one. The burden of the main girl, I guess, falls on her.
And it feels completely natural.
It feels natural. It doesn't feel like they're forcing anything. She's a great actress. She's always been a great actress since, like, I guess In the Heights, which is the only other thing that I watched her in. But
Same.
she's a great actress. And her relationship with Jenna Ortega is just, I think, one of the most fleshed out relationships in the whole Scream franchise. It's really detailed. It's really nuanced, which again is really weird because it's a movie about a guy that puts on a mask and slashes everyone. So it's nice when it goes that deep into like some relationships.
But I also want to shout out Jasmine Savoy Brown and Mason Gooding.
Yeah, they're great.
There's such a wave of energy whenever they're talking. I really enjoyed them. I'm glad they're now like the recurring characters in each installment too. They're a lot of fun. I love them.
Yeah, those core four, which
they call themselves that now.
Yeah, they call that. I think they're supposed to be like, you know, the new core, like Dewey, Gale, Sidney. How they were the trio in the other ones, and I think they take that position really well. Like Jasmine Savoy Brown, she takes that Randy role to a new level in these movies. Like it's because I think she's a modern nerd. Like we're so like,
and she talks about
wired to think. Yeah, when she said like this killer is not on Letterboxd or something like that, I had a huge laugh.
It's like I feel represented.
And like she just feels like exactly like the kind of character that probably Randy felt for you, Ryan, when you watched the first ones. Yeah. That's probably how she feels like for us.
She's my Randy.
Yeah, and I'm totally with you. Like I completely agree with you. I think that she is 100%. I would almost say she's even more likable than Randy for me. And her scene that she had in Scream 5 talking about requels, and then in this one trying to explain how this one will go down, and then later on saying I have no fucking idea, you know, what's going to happen next kind of thing, was quite a really nice.
She's like, I got it wrong again.
That's it.
So funny.
But it was, outside of that, I quite also liked the love interest between Jenna Ortega and I've forgotten his name in the movie.
Mason Gooding.
Cuba Gooding Jr.'s son.
I just learned that last night. That's wild.
It's not Cameron.
His name in the movie is...
Oh, Chad.
They even make a really good joke about that in the movie.
Right. And I quite enjoyed their love interest. And I also think that he's become the Dewey of the movie that's going to keep, you know, being wheeled down on the bed at the end of the movie, being stabbed multiple times but still survive on. But that's pretty much, outside of that and maybe the opening sequence, that's all I enjoyed about this movie. There was a lot of brutal scenes that I thought were quite cool. But if you want me to kick off why I didn't like it, I can go there.
Let's hear it.
Let's first just go over the opening scene that you just mentioned, because it was really different, and then we'll go into why you don't like it.
Yeah, sure.
So you're right. We forgot to shout out the opening scene. This one was also one of the best opening scenes in the whole franchise. When you're listening to the phone call, and you're like, and you're like, oh my god, is that? And it turns out like to be Ghostface. But then he takes his mask off, and it's Tony Revolori, who you thought you heard on the phone, and you're like, oh, what's happening here now? Like, and I like the joke that he lured the film professor to the alley. He's like, you literally teach slasher movies. Why would you walk into a...
You literally survived Ready or Not. You're better than this.
So yeah, that was a really fun and like out of a crazy opening scene.
Yeah.
Go on, tell us why you didn't like it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely unique for opening scenes too. Like, I think that seeing it from the killer's perspective and how they get it done and why they get it done. Even seeing him, I thought it was really unique putting the mask back on the mannequin in the dorm room that he did. I thought that was amazing. I really loved that opening sequence. But yeah, from then on, it kind of just went down the tropes of basically copying the second movie, and everything felt cheap. There was no reason for it. Like, I feel like every sequel prior to this has had a reason to be. Like, it's trying to be the trilogy. It's trying to be the sequel. It's trying to be the reboot. It's trying to be the requel. This one didn't have that, and it was proof in when the new characters, I've just not remember the names.
Mindy.
She implies that she doesn't
Mindy.
know what's happening, and I feel like the writers didn't know what was happening either. And what really frustrated me was that along the way, throughout all the Scream movies, there's been little Easter eggs here and there that have been thrown in to lure you away from the killer. Like in the first movie, I can think of there's a sequence where Dewey and the sheriff at the time are talking, but the scene opens up the shot opens up. They're talking in front of the campus, in front of the high school, and the scene opens up with their feet, and you can see what kind of boots they're wearing. And then there's a shot later where Nev Campbell's in the toilet, and she's being hunted by the Ghostface.
And you see the boots. Yeah.
His boots come down. You're like, oh, Dewey's the killer. That's his boots. There's the boots. It's all connecting up. In this one...
okay, are you going to spoil anything? Because if so, we're going to start the spoil section.
Oh, yeah, please.
Yeah, let's start.
I already started spoiling things way back.
So from this point on, spoilers for Scream 6. We almost fucked up, but we didn't.
Yeah, sorry,
go ahead, Ryan.
You can come for me. I'm known as spoiling stuff between some of my friends, and it's usually unintentionally. Just a quick one. I used to work for a cable network, and we got TV shows a lot earlier than other people would. And one day I decided to put up, and we're talking about Game of Thrones just really quickly. I put up a picture of Jon Snow, and it just had Rip below it, but I had no idea. I hadn't seen the episode, but apparently, yeah. Anyway, he died that episode, and I had spoiled it like 4 hours prior to it coming out. And
oh God!
People deleted me from Facebook, and I was like, I was just joking. I hadn't seen the episode, but anyway, he died in it. So spoilers is what I'm known for. But anyway, Piper, the best friend that lived in the house. Within 15 minutes of the movie, she mentioned her dead brother, and instantly I went, oh, that's Quaid's character, Jack Quaid's character. And so she's that, and the dad's the other killer, and that's it. And I was like, great. Well, hopefully that's not it, because that'll be a twist to get away from that. And then there was no fucking twist. That was the end of the movie. And I was like, are you kidding me?
That's weird, because I completely missed that. That's the last thing I was going to guess.
I think that's it. I think because we missed that, like, we didn't make that connection right away.
Right.
I think that's why the movie worked so much better for us.
Right. No, I'm always trying to pick up things like that in whodunits, like, so I can stay ahead of the game. And usually I'm terrible at it. My wife is fantastic at it. She will spoil things like 20 minutes into movies, or like 3 episodes before the final episode. She'll ruin it. And, for once I was like, oh, this is going to happen. And my brain went, no, there'll be a twist to make that not right. But then it was right. And that is probably my main problem with this whole movie, is that the writing in it felt very cheap. It wasn't exciting. There was no differences between other movies. So like the killers being connected to the previous killer. So like Billy Loomis's mum being in the second movie, and then the killers in this movie being connected to Jack Quaid's character in this one. Yeah, and it's just all and set in a college, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so it just felt very cheaply written. I felt like they could have made so many different changes into it, and the trailer really set it up to being something else. And that for me was going to be.
See, I
didn't watch the trailer.
I didn't watch the trailer.
So right, maybe that set the tone.
Just to get you on the same bandwagon as me, the trailer really set it up to be a sequel that connected every sequel, and it showed that shot of all the Ghostface costumes on the stage, and my brain went, what if this Nev Campbell comment about her not being in the movie was a whole ploy for the whole movie to get her out of the movie, but actually she is in the movie, and that was a twist on everybody being in the internet, and maybe that's where this movie's going, and people on the internet ruining movies. So the third movie was ruined by the internet, and they've never gone down that track of spoilers, right? So they could have gone down the track where Nev Campbell was the Ghostface in this one, and she's just trying to end the whole scenario. I'm coming up with a whole new movie here, but it's where my brain was going.
We thought Gale was Ghostface at one point.
Until the middle of the movie, I was 100% sure that it was Gale.
Right.
Like 100% sure.
And something like that would have been really cool, because that would have kept it in the same kind of ballsy move as 5 did with killing off Dewey. Making Gale the killer would have made it different, would have changed it up for the rest of the franchise, and would have given us a cool send-off for that character, because obviously she would have died, she wouldn't have made it out of it. But for her to just be like, I was out of story ideas, I was out of ideas to write books, and I needed another one to make more money or something like that, just to give her one little thing, would have been great. I would have loved that. And she could have used Piper as
and they could have gone the route of like, she never snapped before because it wasn't Dewey, and when it happened to Dewey, she snapped.
And that's also the whiteboard moment, where you've got a whiteboard. You kill Dewey off to make Courtney Cox the killer. Like you've got the whiteboard. But of course,
I don't think they even knew if they were gonna make a Scream 6 when they made Scream 5.
Okay, I will say that one thing that maybe worked better for us, at least for me, it's because like I understand all those points, but I thought that this was supposed to be like the requel to, so like retreading all the points from the second movie and all that. So that made a lot of sense to me, why the killer was who it was, and everything like that. It's basically like you said, like Scream 2. So for me it worked, maybe because of that. Maybe I gave it like the benefit of the doubt of being like, that's what Scream does, and it was like retreading the exact steps of Scream 2.
If they retread Scream 3, we're fucked.
Oh yeah, we're fucked. But I will say, this movie for me has the best kills in the franchise.
Yes. Yeah.
Like what Ghostface can do in New York, he can't do anywhere else. Like there's some scenes here, the window scene, like that killed me. Like when the girlfriend died, I think.
Yeah.
Like that was so fucked up. Ghostface with a shotgun was insane. Like it was just really good. And yeah, like I enjoyed the twist. Just because I guess it's because we didn't catch it. Like the whole thing, I thought it was Gale, and then I thought it was Kirby. I was 100% sure that it was Kirby.
Yeah.
And they even say that it was Kirby.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't. So yeah. So I really loved watching this movie. I had a great time.
I was honestly just happy to be watching a Scream movie, and it just kept delivering for me. Like again, I didn't watch the trailer, so I didn't know where it was going. All the callbacks were either earned or whatnot, and it felt like there were stakes. It felt like nobody was safe for me. It felt like it used what was good in the fifth one and made something a little bigger and gorier, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I did quite like the kills. I thought the kills were quite unique in this movie. I do wish they killed off Gale. I think they did quite a big moment for her to die in that movie, but she lived on to see another day. But the thing actually, Alan, you were saying just then that, you can only do these kills in New York. I think the only scene for me that really actually felt like it was New York was the I'm going to call it a 7-Eleven or whatever it was, the little
bodega
mini mart.
No, the subway one really worked as well.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but I mean,
I
like,
agree. The subway was
that
great.
subway could have been anywhere, really. There was no, like, there was never.
No,
a
but it had like the vibe that it was like the subway in New York, all the crazies in Halloween, people like all dressed up.
Yeah.
I never been in New York in Halloween, but I'm assuming that's how
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. Well, I guess what I'm alluding to, I guess, is it just felt like any random American city. Like it didn't. I mean, I'm not American at all. I'm Australian. I only know America by the very small, limited amount of time that I've spent there, and then obviously American movies. But like, if you tell me it's New York, the things that I need to see to make it New York are like the Empire State Building or something like that. And there was nothing like that from this movie. And even like if you think of Jason Takes Manhattan, and they did show that movie in this. I'm not sure if you guys seen Friday the 13th Part 8. Highly recommend it. It's cheesy as hell. But there is a sequence where Jason walks down Times Square. And that's quite a unique sequence. But there was nothing like that in this movie. They didn't really use Times Square to its full advantage. And I thought for me it was a little bit disappointing. And I thought, they could have really built up on the New York part of it. It could have been any random city. I didn't think it needed to be shot in New York.
So with that, what's your rating for this movie?
5.5 out of 10.
Ooh.
Wow.
I'd say based on enjoyment alone, I'd say 8 right now.
Wow, I'm really high on this one, I guess.
What's yours?
This one was one of my favorites. I gave it a 9.
Yeah, awesome.
Wow,
I think that's what makes it fun, right? Like I think all different horror movies give different people different excitement levels. I think I'm still really excited for the next one. But I think they really need to start making it a little bit different. I think sticking it to the same tropes as the original ones, you've pleased fans enough by doing number 5. This one could have been a different step by taking it to New York and making it completely different from the others, but I don't think they did it far enough than what they've done before. And I'd really like to see them kill off Courtney Cox, and I'd really like them to see
I'm with you there.
I am not. I love that woman.
To really either become Ghostface the killer or trying to finish the series, like her trying to kill off every connection to Ghostface there is. That way,
I would love that idea that, like you suggested, about Nev Campbell, like coming back and just killing everyone. I think. I would even be up for like being two, like it usually is two.
It's Gail
and her just like whacking people up, and then they kill themselves. I don't know.
Well, let them walk off into the sunset and just be like, I'm writing my own movie this time. I'm not letting people write their movie for me. I'm doing it myself, and I'm sending myself off the sunset that I want. I want to be able to ride into the sunset.
But I would only love if they did that and they weren't in the movie at all, and they only get revealed in the end.
Just right at the end? Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Like if they weren't in the movie at all, it was like a Melissa Barrera thing. They not even referenced, and then that's the twist.
That's it.
Okay, we had a great time talking Scream.
I'm screaming.
I'm a new fan of the franchise. I love it. I want to rewatch it already, the whole thing, which is crazy because I never thought in a million years that would happen. And I love it. It's one of my favorite horror franchises now. And I can't wait for Scream 7, which also I thought I would never say.
Yeah.
There you go.
So Ryan, tell the people where they can find you online.
So you guys can find me at Movie Nerds on Instagram, at movie.nerds on Instagram.
It's right there.
We talk movies. Sorry. Oh yeah, that's right. It's in here. It's just here. Where is it? There it is.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's it. We talk movies, reviews. We hit up a lot of premieres here in Sydney. Chat to a lot of people. And if there's anything you want to know from us, just hit us up in the DMs. We usually reply pretty quickly. We just love talking movies.
Great.
It was awesome having you.
Yeah, we loved having you. Thank you also for helping us out with our awards this past few days.
Yeah, check out the Golden Slice Awards if you haven't already.
Yeah, a little shameless plug because I spent about 45,000 hours editing that thing.
Thank you to Alan.
So
and remember to like and hit the sub button.
Yes, and follow us on Instagram as well at Film Fanatics Pod. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks again for Ryan. hopefully we all won't be slashed anytime soon, and we'll get to see other movies soon. Bye, guys.
Film Fanatics. From the silver screen to your earphones with Alan Azulay and Gal Balaban.